Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ali Faika bin Ahu. My trade number 1172477. I am one of 5 members in this group. And the topic of our research is about the effect joining the club association to student performance. Today I want to present my parts, which is in chapter 1. Okay. For the introduction, in general, club association activities are the platform that is expected to be balancing between academic achievement and development of generic skill in student in school or institution of higher learning, or in other words, IPT. And club association can be said as the big parts of college life among students. And a club association can be defined as a group of students organized with a similar interest for a social, literary, political, or other common purpose. Next, for the problem statements, the purpose of the research is about to document the effects by joining clubs within their performance as a student university, because we can say over half of students spend being involved in some sort of structured activity or club association. For the research objectives, in this research, firstly, to investigate why students fail to manage time, and secondly, to investigate why students fail to attend the class, and lastly is to investigate why student lack of cooperation among members. Okay, for the research question, for our research is about, does joining club association give impact to the student performance? And for the research hypothesis, they have 3 hypotheses for our research. For the first one, the hypothesis is about time management associated with the student performance, and the second one is the attendance associated with student performance, and the last one is about peer cooperation associated with student performance. Okay, for the last part, which is significant of the study, from us is the important thing is about to others know within that have negative movement or vice versa by joining club to students' performance. And also we want to give the correct information to students and community based on the results that we get from the research. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hafizuddin, and my metric number is 1170706. Okay, next I present about the methodology. Okay, for the methodology, as an introduction, this chapter describes the methodology and the procedure applied to achieve the objective of this research. Chapter section include a research population, research sample, research instrument, questionnaire, data collection, data analysis, and the last is expected result. Okay, the primary goal of research are to identify the effect of joining club to USIM student performance. So, next is research population. Okay, for the research population, the study population were USIM students from various faculty that are purposely selected based on our study needed. So net is a research sample. So the respondent involved in this survey were USIM students who joined in club. Yes. Okay, net is student instrument. Okay, the data were collected by using questionnaire. So for the questionnaire, consisted of two sections, which is section A, demographic data, and section B, which is consists of four items: student performance, time management, attendance, and corporation. Okay, for the questionnaire, like I said before, there is a section A and section B. Okay, for the section A, it focus more on the demographic data. So the section is more to demographic status of respondent. So it consists of age, gender, ethnic, citizenship, and year of study. And for the section B, the questionnaire consists of four items, which were focusing on the factor could be effect when joining the club, which club to student USIM performance, which are student performance, time management, attendance, and corporation. Okay. 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 Next is data collection. Okay. During the data collection, we use the questionnaire as our method to collect the data of the respondent. We will spread the questionnaire to the respondent using Google Form. So we spread by using WhatsApp because we can do face-to-face due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We also already put the instruction there to make sure that all the respondents have clearly understand the information of the study and voluntarily participation in the study by filling the questionnaire. So we did not use the difficult word in this questionnaire, but only a simple word and easy for respondent to understand when answer. This questionnaire also only take 3 minutes of respondent time to finish this Google form. So the data collection complete within 1 week of the study. Okay, next is the data analysis. So for the data analysis, the data was entered and analyzed using the SPSS version 22. So in the data analysis, we use multivariate regression analysis for estimating the relationship between the dependent variable and one or more independent variable. So the regression analysis is primarily used for two conceptually distinct purposes. First, regression analysis is widely used for prediction and forecasting, where its use has substantial overlap with the field of machine learning. Second, in some situations, regression analysis can be used to infer causal relationship between the independent variable with dependent variable. So the last is the expected result. So since the time management, attendance, and cooperation is the major predictors of student performance who join in club, so it is expected that there will be a significant association between time management, attendance, and cooperation of respondent to student performance in terms of effect joining club. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Muhammad Afiq Irfan bin Zairun, 1172752. Now I will present about chapter 3, result and finding. First, reliability statistic. Reliability analysis is determined by obtaining the proportion of systematic variation in skills, which can be done by the determining the association between the score obtained from different administration of the skills. The reliability statistic help to detect that 14 items of the question are 47.6%, which means that the information is quite credible. Next, demographic. This section covers demographic information of the respondents, which are age, gender, ethnic, citizenship, and year of study. For the age, the most higher age is 22 years old, and the lowest is 20 years old. For the gender, the higher is female is 73.5%, and the lowest is male to 6.5%. Now, for the ethnic, the 100% is for Malay responses, and also for citizenship, 100% for the local responded. Last year of study, the highest score is at degree years 3 at 3.7%, and the lower degree years 1. Now, for descriptive statistic. Descriptive statistic is brief descriptive coefficient that summarize a given data set, which can be either the representation of the entire or a sample of a population. Measure of the central tendency include the mean, medium, mode. Will measure of variability include the standard deviation, variance, the minimum and maximum variables, and the curtoise and squeeze. Is allowed to make conclusion beyond the data analysis or reach conclusion regarding any hypothesis have made. The parameter of squeeze and curtoise should be between -3 and +3, which are appropriate from this investigation. This data is crucial to the way the information is interpreted on the proportion. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Haris Aiman bin Muhammad Jamil, matric number 1172246. Next, I will present frequency. So first question is the current CGPA. From our report, we can see that most of them, which is 46.9, have their current CGPA around 3.0 to 3.49, while the lowest is around 2.0 until 2.49. Next question is are they ever received any awards? So from the report, we can see that most of them, which is 59.2%, have no received any awards, and only 40.8% from them have received awards. Next is, are they ever representing USIM for external activities? So as we can see, 40.8%, which is the lowest, are not ever representing USIM for external activities, and 59.2% of them have representing USIM for external activities. Next, for the next question, we can see that next we go to time management. So for the first question, we can see most of them, which is 32.7%, are strongly agree that they have their own timetable, and none of them strongly disagree that they doesn't have their own timetable. Next questions, as we can see that most of them agree, which is 42.9%, that they can follow their own timetable, and none of them are strongly disagree that they doesn't cannot to follow their own timetable. And for the third question, as we can see, most of them, which is 40.8%, agree that they can divide their time between leisure and study wisely, and none of them strongly disagree that they can't manage their time between leisure and study. Next we go to attendance. So for the first question, the highest score is 46.9%, which is they agree and strongly agree that their class attendance is always full, and none of them strongly disagree with the class attendance is always full. And for the second question, the highest score is for 34.7%, which is they strongly disagree that their attendance system is not convenient for them. And the lowest score is 6.1%, which is they strongly agree that the attendance system is not convenient for them. And for the third questions, as we can see that the highest score is 53.1%, which is they strongly disagree that club activities prevented them from attending classes, and only 4.1% agree that the club activity prevented them from attending classes. Next, we go to corporation. For the first questions, the highest score is 53.1%, which is they agree that they always helping their group member to finish the task. And the least score is 4.1%, which is strongly disagree that they always helping their group member to finish their task. Next question, the highest score is 44.9%, which is they are strongly disagree that they have communication problems in their group work activities, and only 2% strongly agree that they have communication problem in group work activities. And for the last question, the highest score is 42.9%, which is they are natural with the question, which is they are ever willing to work extra than others, and the lowest score is 4.1%, which is they are strongly disagree that they are ever willing to work extra than others. After that, we go to correlation. A high correlation means that two or more variables have a strong relationship with each other. while a weak correlation means that the variables are hardly related. As we can see from the table, the student performance has 37% relationship with the time management and 8.3 relationship with the attendance and negative 2.4 relationship with the cooperation. This technique is strictly connected to the linear regression analysis that is a statistical approach for modeling the association between a dependent variable, call response, and one or more explanatory or independent variables. And finally, we go through regression analysis. First table is the model summary table. The R is 37.5% predicting the student performance, where R is the square root of R squared, which is the correlation between the values of dependent variable observed which predicted. These values show that time management, attendance, and cooperation will predict 40%, which will predict 14% of the variance in student performance. The adjusted R-square aims to yield a more truthful value for the population to measure the R-square. As shown in the table, R value is 0.140 while the adjusted R-square is 0.083. For the next table, which is ANOVA table, the one-way analysis of variance ANOVA is used to determine whether there are any statistically significant differences between the means of two or more independent groups. The table is explaining the variance that brought in student performance with the help of time management, attendance, and cooperation. The 1.197 out of 8.535 is explained by the variables. For the last table, which is coefficient tables, the coefficient of time management is 0.199. So for every improvement in time management, a 0.199 improvement in student performance is predicted. For every improvement in attendance, there is a negative 0.007 deterioration in the predicted student performance. And for the third is the coefficient of cooperation is 0.041. So for every improvement in cooperation, a 0.041 improvement in student performance is predicted. The coefficient of time management are statistically significantly because the p-value is 0.012, which is smaller than 0.05. While the coefficient of attendance and cooperation are statistically not significant at level 0.05 because the p-value greater than 0.05. Since the significance of time management is below 0.05, it means the null hypothesis will be rejected while the alternative hypothesis is accepted. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Azmi bin Hairuddin and my number metric is 1172238. Now we go through to the conclusion and recommendation. First, conclusion. Based on the result, students have ability to joining the club activity. The student is able to manage their time in measurable way. They will be able to differentiate which is studies and activity, also have a leisure time with their friend. Students also have fulfilled their responsibilities in attending the class while they have commitment in the club. Although students have admit to being a little clumsy when participating in club activities, they still attend the scheduled classes and lecture. Next, tolerance and cooperate in the group assignment is important in studies. This research show the cooperation and among the group members are good when finishing the task given. Next, we go to the recommendation. First, in the study, we recommend that the student more practical to their timetable. Based on studies, students will still obstacle to follow the timetable. They sometimes do not follow the schedule. This may be due to excessive free time, which lead to their non-compliance of the timetable time. Next, a student must have a helpful attitude in teamwork. This can make it easier for our group to complete the task on the time. Then, the attending system need improvement, and also the learning method need to upgrade over the time, such as online class that replace face-to-face classes. Like today, when the pandemic COVID-19 spread all over the world, all institutions, including educational institutions, break down, and from the moment the online class have practical through roughly. That's all from mine. Thank you.